Hey everyone, welcome back to Go Kick Me. Today we have the Woofloo, which is a professional dog toilet. As they say, a self-flushing dog toilet made of aluminum. Timer-based water flush keeps the toilet clean and prevents any smell buildup, no maintenance required. So, as you can tell, it's a place for your dog to take a pee. And this one starts out with lots of clip art, stock photo, whatever. Dogs running, making us feel all emotional, and then we get down to business. We may have a solution to where your dog needs to go. So, basically this thing is just as it looks like in the picture. It's a little patch of AstroTurf that has a timer-based rinse-off system, and it's actually apparently out of Kuala Lumpur, so this guy lives in Malaysia.
Crafted from high-grade aluminium, Woofloo is a dog toilet that flushes automatically, doesn't smell, and looks beautiful in stylish colors.
It does look beautiful.
Within the frame runs Woofloo.
So, this is a case where I think if you look a little bit deeper, just beyond the initial video, it's actually not that fancy. It's really just a box, and they even show in some of the videos like the manufacturing and stuff. It's really just a box with a tube going around and a bunch of holes drilled in it, and then that's connected to a tap with a timer, and then you just drain it with a drain hose. And so
the city and suburb areas.
Here you can see it in action. So their video's not super fancy. I guess it gets the point across. Yeah, here's where they're building it.
As low as possible, so the dog step up to the platform is not scary. The ground, so we added adjustable feet. Woofloo is not. So
you can tell from this, it looks like it's actually not. I mean, it's just a aluminum box with some piping in there. Yes, it is strong and weatherproof. But not too fancy. And yeah, they go through all this stuff. I think the big thing is, if any of you guys have had a dog that lives in an apartment, the pee smell on the, if they use the pads and whatever, it's just a pain. And then the dog doesn't necessarily want to stay on there. And if they do, they track the stuff all over the place. So that's a pretty big recurring cost for pet ownership. So this is a solution where basically you have this sort of self-rinsing pad that just happens to look like grass. One of the things though is that you actually have to connect it to both to a tap with for the water, and then also drain this thing out. And I was thinking at first, I'm like, oh, that's actually super inconvenient, because if you live in an apartment, you basically won't have those things in most homes. But then if you have like a patio, they might actually have that, or you can run a hose maybe from outside and then run the drain hose out. Or if it's like a balcony, it actually might have it. Or if you live in Asia, where I live, actually a lot of the bathrooms, there's a drain on the floor in the bathroom as opposed to just a bathtub. So the drain part's not that bad, and then I guess you could run a line off of from underneath the sink, or from even the tap itself. So that sort of makes it a little bit more feasible. And then even better, in an apartment, a lot of them also have hookups for a washer dryer, or at least a washer. And so that actually has a drain, so you could run this drain pipe in there, and then you could, I guess, put a T or something to split off from the one for the washer itself. So actually, you could just put this in your bathroom. Maybe the smaller version, if you have a big bathroom, you could keep in the corner and not trip over it in the dark and kick your foot into this aluminum thing. But in that respect, okay, I can actually see at least a couple cases where this would work. Maybe not for a really small apartment that doesn't have a washer hookup, but at least some of them will work. And they have different sizes, obviously, for different sized dogs. And then the nice ones you see with the cedar wood, beech wood, and some of these other ones, I think those are just veneers. I don't know if it's actually wood. Well, it's a veneer either way, but I don't know if it's like actual wood or it's just like stick-on wood panel or whatever. Anyway, but apparently it costs extra for these two. And yeah, here's the sizes. No maintenance. So this thing runs off batteries, and you can set the time. You want it to go off every hour or whatever. And this is basically it. And then the bonus is not only does it not smell, but you know, even if you have a real grass backyard, you got to go up and pick up the poop. It kills your grass, especially if your dog always go in the same place. So that's at least some of these testimonials they have. That's one of the things that they actually say is like, you know, the dog was just totally trashing their lawn, and in this case they don't. But if the dog's going to take a dump on here, they definitely you need to pick it up because it's not getting absorbed. So anyway, they have that. Here's some more detail on how it works, where the hoses go, etc. They actually make, or you can buy a little fire hydrant, or in this case like a British post box, for the male dogs to pee on if they need to pee. I've seen male dogs who can pee on nothing just fine, but it doesn't hurt. And I've actually seen female dogs who pee on objects too. So anyway, but as I said, it actually looks like it's a pretty simple design. In other words, like I think if they're really making a lot of these, it doesn't actually cost that much to make. And then we get to the cost. So let's, yeah, it's actually got all this stuff in there. Saves you from all the stress having to rush home. Yeah, here's the fire hydrant. So let's talk about the costs. Let's skip these testimonials. Here we are. So the small, is the early bird price, which I think you can still get, is $190. Medium is $211 US, and that's super early bird. And then the large is $335. So you $260 for the regular early bird price for the medium. So that starts getting pretty pricey, because at the end of the day, what you're talking about is just a, you know, probably a plastic pipe, an aluminum frame, a piece of AstroTurf, some kind of drain thing underneath, and they're charging $330. So yeah, let's see what we got here. What's available now? So you can just donate money. Oh, first of all, they've got 5,000 US out of their 15,000 goal. So this thing is still in play. Only 19 days to go. So there's a good chance this one might actually not get funded. But you know, it's got another 10K to go. So let's see how it does. Good luck. Especially if you put your pledge in and you really want it. Good luck to see if it makes it the rest of the way. So yeah, $18 for the mailbox. Here we go. So this is, let's see, the upgrade package. So you get the beech and cedar and the nameplate. This doesn't even come with it. Wow, that's pretty bad. Oh, wait, my fault. This is Hong Kong dollars. So why is this showing me in Hong Kong dollars? I guess this is one of the few, even though they're in Malaysia, they put it in Hong Kong dollars. Okay, so US 18 for the mailbox. $40 for the upgrade package, which is just to give you the beech wood and senior wood pattern. I don't know if it's actually wood. I don't think it is. And you get a customized nameplate on it for your dog. Okay, let's get to the actual one. So here's a small, $14.85 Hong Kong dollars, which, as you may or may not know, is about $200. So that's just the early bird, not the super early bird. That's pretty pricey for something that's only 32 by 16. So 16 is like this, and 32. So it's like this big, maybe. Comes with the small, comes with the grass patch, antifungal, because it's plastic, I guess. Flush timer, drain hose. So yeah, that's pretty pricey. The only thing is like, okay, this timer is, you know, that's a little complicated, a little specific. But then again, couldn't you get like just a garden timer? You know, and a couple hoses and whatever. You know, I think you could actually do a DIY version of this for probably $30 or $40. A much bigger one, right? So let's look at the bigger one, the medium, $260, and the El Grande large, $335. And that's the early bird price. So whatever the late bird one, I don't remember what it said. It doesn't even list it, I think. So you know, the late one would be who knows much, $400, if I had to guess. So, yeah, I bet you could just get a garden timer, like a water your lawn timer. That would probably do it. And here's the little name badge add-on things that they're charging you an extra $40 for. So, like I like to do, I sometimes think, okay, well, could you maybe jerry-rig this, or is it someone else making something similar? Since I haven't had a dog in a long time, and when my dog used to go outside, I had to check, and turns out there's all kinds of options. These are AstroTurf ones. Look at this thing, $20 for a piece of AstroTurf, and it's got a little tray in the bottom that you can, there's a little pad that you can pull up, and the tray in the bottom collects all the pee. So, if you got a small enough dog, the pee maybe just collects there. You empty it out once a day. This is, let's see, how big is these size? So, 26 by 17, so it's almost big enough. Almost as big. Is that the medium or the large? So the medium is small, but the large is almost the same as the small of the other one. And they make much bigger ones of these. So, there's all kinds of these things. So even at $20 for this one, you could buy 9.5 of these things for the cost of one of the Woofloos, right? So this is 190. The small one of these is 190. This is 19, right, plus shipping. And you can get it right now in stock. So, yeah, this one might smell. This one you have to rinse, but I don't need to connect it to water. I don't have to change the batteries in the timer. I don't have to do a lot of stuff on this one. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Let's look at what else you got. This one I thought was interesting. This was actually a Shark Tank project, apparently, a couple of years ago. And it's a mail order patch of sod, basically, like of grass, real grass, that they mail you, whatever. I guess whenever you order it, it takes apparently a couple days to arrive, but it lasts a couple weeks, depending on how big your dog is and I guess how toxic their poo is. And you can just leave it there, and I guess you water it once in a while to keep it growing. But it actually absorbs odor and stuff because it's actual grass. It sort of absorbs stuff. So you can use it indoors, you can use it outdoors, you can use it on the balcony or deck or whatever. And so this one I actually looked through, and there's like people who use this stuff like full time. Like they just order one every 2 weeks, which apparently is cheaper than pee pads, at least. Like the traditional pee pads. Because look, a pee pad, that's a box of 100, so that's still like, it's less than $1, but how many times does your dog pee? It's multiple times a day. So you could rack up $1 in pee pads a day. That's $365 a year just on pee pads. So if I order this thing maybe 20 times a year, let's say I went 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks with one patch at $20, that's, let's say 20 times, so $400, right? So better for the environment, that's for sure. This is fully recyclable. I guess absorbs carbon dioxide in your house too. So anyway, there's Fresh Patch. There's also this other one called Doggy Lawn, and then there's other obviously artificial ones. So people have done ratings, and this one guy here on Amazon, he compared it. He actually also goes to Home Depot and just buys a real piece of sod, and it only costs $4, and then it lasts, what did he say? Lasts like a week or something, a week or two. This one you definitely have to last 3 to 4 weeks, so even better, right? You just have to water it, I guess. But the only issue is, I guess, wherever he lives, it's not available in the winter. So there's these other options, So yeah, $300, $400, $360 or whatever for the large one is pretty pricey. You could buy a lot of fake grass or real grass for that cost. But I guess the idea is, set it and forget it, right? So once you get this thing going, the only thing you need to do is clean it off once in a while, pick up the poop, which you pretty much have to with all these, and then, maybe once in a while, give it a good cleaning, But pretty much that's it. Maybe clean out the hoses once in a while, and then obviously replace the battery on this thing too. So that's not so bad, right? So I'm gonna give this one a... Oh yeah, here's the... Still got to do that. If they can fix that, then I'll be really impressed. Because that's probably the worst part of owning a dog, aside from the smell. If they can pick up hair and pick up poop, I'll be really impressed. So anyway, I'm gonna give this one a slight thumbs up. Not too bad. Could be better. Could be a lot cheaper. Like if they sold this thing for $100, you know, for a medium instead of $260 or whatever, I would give it a big thumbs up. But at these prices, those other options start looking pretty good. The only other thing is, I guess I should say that, like, okay, the fresh patch, I don't think they're gonna mail you the grass if you live outside of the U.S., but the other ones doesn't ship to Hong Kong. But the other ones should work no matter where you are in the world. So anyway, keep that in mind. Check it out. There's a link in the description. If you do buy it, I do get a small commission, so keep that in mind. It's a way to support Go Kick Me. And do check us out also on Facebook and Twitter at Go Kick Me. Okay, see you guys next time. Bye.